feeling glad. There's no pain and I'm not feeling numb. There's a goal I have in mind and it's not going home. I'm on the multi-lane, hoping that you'll join me, either separately or we can roll jointly. And I'm not rolling joints, but on the low if you need. I think I know a guy who knows where I can go to score some weed. I'm just being real for like the first time, and I swear I've worn masks for like my whole life. And I know it must seem like there's a million different me's, but I swear that I'm unique. I'll bear it all for you to see. This is not an image I project, a role that I play. I hope you come to expect that I will do as I say, and I say I'm here to stay. If only you would have me, and I'll bring you all the joy in the world to see you laugh. Do this for the rest of our days or something. Do you think about love, or at least trying? Do you lie to yourself and say you'd rather give up? Would you like to mess with me and see with every step we take if it leads to the best of our days or something? I think I'm in love, or at least falling. If I'm honest, I don't want to get up, so lay with me in this mess that we made, and we can do this for the rest of our days or something. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love or something. Empty nights and I'm not feeling sad. Busy days and I'm not feeling glad. There's no pain and I'm not feeling numb. There's a goal I have in mind and it's not going home. It's about finding you and wasting time when I do, and fighting for your smile, cause I die when you do. I lose my mind even if you're not trying to be cute, and that be why I'm always trying to catch your eye in the room. Tell me everything, you're my fascination, where your dreams seem to land and where your passion's facing. Every goal you've ever had and every argument wasted, where you'd like to lead your life and when you need a vacation. Let me be the one you trust, with whom you confide. I can be the one you come to when it's hard to get by. Yeah, I could be the one you turn to when it's hard to survive. And I love to be the one to hold you late in the night. I'm just a fool with feelings that fully fail to falter, with daydreams too extreme that always lead to altars, with fantasies too deep depicting me as a father. With you by my side, how could I fall any harder? I think I'm in love, or at least falling. If I'm honest, I don't want to get up, so lay with me in this mess that we made, and we can do this for the rest of our days or something. Do you think about love, or at least trying? Do you lie to yourself and say you'd rather give up? Would you like to mess with me and see with every step we take if it leads to the best of our days or something? I think I'm in love, or at least falling. If I'm honest, I don't want to get up, so lay with me in this mess that we made, and we can do this for the rest of our days or something. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love. I think I'm in love or something.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another stream from the Double EXP. I'm just doing it solo tonight because everyone else is doing stuff, and this was kind of out of the blue. We had some people miss the stream last night, and that wanted to see it. And guess who forgot to click on a box that automatically uploads those archives? Yeah, that was me. So there's not going to be a VOD of last night. So I thought what I would do is make sure to click that box for this episode, and then make sure that I recapped it and also do some GM prep, because I thought that would be interesting to see, and at least helpful for me, because it like makes me actually do stuff. 'Cause sometimes I am lazy. Is that the right word? Procrastination. Words are hard. I procrastinate sometimes, and I wait until the last second, and then it's not where I want it to be exactly. So this way I have to do it in front of people, for one. And two, you guys get to see behind the curtain. So spoilers a little bit for the current campaign. I'm going to be talking about stuff that only I and some of the characters know about, and also my plans for them in the future and that kind of stuff. Let me put my phone on Do Not Disturb. And I'll go first. I'm going to go through and recap what happened last night, and then we'll do some GM prep. So if you're only here for the recap, then you don't have to stay for the prep, or vice versa. You can come back later. I don't know. You do you. You do you, baby. Hey, what's up, Stevie? How you doing, girl? Oh my goodness. All right, so let's get into this. Do we want to have music on? Or do you guys feel like, I don't know. I could put music on if you're feeling it. If not, we can just be quiet and silent and alone. So, let's get into the recap. So the characters are just coming off of a month of downtime between this and their last job. And they find themselves in the small town of Blazingdale. About a 3 days travel from the Stone Tooth, which is supposed to be the location of the hidden dwarven stronghold named Kundrakar, led by a dwarven smith by the name of Durgeddon, sometimes referred to as Durgeddon the Black. Let's see, what do I want to play? I'm gonna play this song again because I love it. If you're getting tired of it, let me know. But I'm going to play it. And I'm going to put it on shuffle. And I'm going to turn the volume down a little bit, so it's not overpowering my voice. Hope that's cool. Let me know how that sounds.
Something about stretches, I guess.
If that's overpowering me. Alright, anyways. So this is the map that they were given by a noble who has sent them to find some of Durgeddon's famous blade work. They're tasked with bringing this blade work back, or at least information on this location, and they're going to get paid. And they got that contact through Nath's schmoozing of the noble class up in Waterdeep, which is where they're based out of, the City of Splendor. So they stopped off in Blazingdale to get some coats because they're in the north, which is a very cold area. Even though it's midsummer, or very close to the event midsummer, it still gets really cold at night. About the low teens at night, and in the upper or the lower 40s during the day. Which still leaves it pretty cold. But they decided just to follow this trail and head straight into the front door. So let me switch you over to that map. Aptly named the Mountain Door. So this is the Mountain Door map. And the thing about this map is it is currently being inhabited by a group of orcs, a tribe of orcs, whatever you want to call it. Tribe of orcs led by an ogre. And there are some that were on watch outside, but they are very inattentive, as some orcs are. They don't prefer the watching lifestyle. They prefer the let's go kill stuff and fight stuff lifestyle. So these two guys right here that I've selected and I'm moving, they were initially up here where I'm pinging. They got snuck by, and it wasn't until they got into this room, the party, that the orcs that were hiding over here noticed them and started attacking and throwing javelins at them across this chasm. And this chasm descends into darkness beyond vision range, and some of the party decided to just rush across and attack them. The thing is with this bridge, though, is made out of very delicate rope. There's even a handout that I can show you. It's this one. This is supposed to show you like what this rope bridge even looks like. It looks very terrible. And so the tactic for these orcs is that once one of the party members gets halfway across, one of them runs up and cuts it, which makes the difficulty, the DC, a higher number than what it initially was, which means that it's much more likely that someone's going to fall off than it was initially, had they charged all the way across in the first place. So what happened is that some of them got midway through the bridge and just started using ranged attacks, and this guy cuts it, and we had a party member fall off because she didn't make the save. She wasn't even here, so it kind of worked out for like a little bit, but I had to go and figure out where they actually fell down to, and I didn't find a hard ruling, so I just put them where I thought was a good idea to put them. So we're going to move her out of the way for now. The other orc that was here decided to run all the way up here and alert this group of orcs that there was intruders, because that's kind of their plan. Like, they get someone caught in here and then they alert the rest of them to swarm in. And so these orcs right here opened the secret doors that we had and swept through, and Artemis was left over here alone. Well, the rest of the party was on this side of the bridge. And they didn't know what to do because there was nothing over here after they killed this one orc, while Artemis was over here getting attacked by like 4 or 5 orcs. None of the rest of the party wanted to go back across, and Artemis had to jump and make a save to get on the bridge, where Pippin had this great idea that they would just all jump and he would cast Featherfall, and that's how they would get to safety. So everyone leapt and he cast Featherfall, and I scene changed to the other map where they found Oriana still alive because they had landed in water. But my problem is now I'm going to have to figure out how they're going to reinforce their efforts against the party should they return to this level. And we'll go back to that once we're done with the recap. It's something to keep in mind that I want to do, because they don't just get to like run away and the orcs like just reset. This is a living world where these creatures think and plan, so we have to think of something, which maybe you guys can help me with, that does that for us. So I dropped them all the way down to this area of the map. The Glitterham. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. But this is the whole map. It's pretty big. It's really interesting because the characters have certain vision ranges, as you can see. If I grab Darstrix, you can see a circle of light around him, and that's his vision range. So when he got in this room, he didn't exactly know like where he was, because usually you can see walls at least that are blocking your vision, but the middle of this room, you're kind of left in the middle of nowhere. But I'm going to use Darstrix as an example for the party for now. But they landed in this pool of water here. Let me zoom in for you guys. Oop. Hold on. My Roll20 is lagging. But anyways, they landed in this pool of water. Artemis was unconscious, and she started floating down because she had cut the bridge in half and been shot with a few arrows. So she was knocked unconscious, and she actually fell unconscious, and the party had to jump after her. That was kind of their like kick. So they went up here and explored a little bit. Nothing of great interest except for a ring that they found that was worth, I think, about 120 gold if I remember right. But they came down and decided just to follow the stream to this spiral staircase. So they left most of this area completely untouched. They really bypassed it through the initial encounters, like the stuff up here, where they would have naturally descended these stairs from the above level. Instead, they bypassed a lot of it, and they went down here, which led to them jump to this map, the sinkhole. In the sinkhole, they started to explore a few of these abandoned storehouses, and they ran into a gray ooze, which I don't think any of them have ever encountered in a game before, so I described it as something completely foreign to them, which I think was really cool and interesting because it made some of them not know how to fight it, which was awesome. Like Ethan played his character Artemis, and he wasn't sure what to do. I was explaining it as a puddle of wet cement, basically, that could move around and make pseudopods that would slap you, and he wasn't really sure what to do. He didn't even want to stab it, but eventually he did stab it. And the thing with oozes is they're acidic in nature, so it corroded some of his weapons, which turned out later that he had to buy some from an enemy. But they explored down here. They got some potions from here that they still haven't identified yet. and they waited in this water. And I want to remember that Darstrix actually failed his saving throw for this area. And this area this water is poisoned or diseased. So in about actually, I think I'm going to implement it after this long rest that they took at the end of the session. He is going to have some effects because he's struck in with the disease from this stagnant, disgusting water that they all decided to wade through. And he was the only one that failed his save. But they got to this point, which they were warned about a roper in a bit of prose that I sent them from the latest Dragon magazine, which you guys can find online. It had some cool, it had like a little bit of prose about each of the dungeons and Tales from the Yawning Portal, and I sent that to them so that they would get like a little, like, to simulate what they had heard about the adventure from the Yawning Portal itself. And so this is the thing they were warned about. It's a roper. Very, very, very much outclasses their ability right now as level 3 characters. It was doing 20 to 30 damage with one hit, and most of them have less than that as a total. But what ended up happening is it has really long tentacles that can reach like 50 feet out, which if I show you like with a ruler, like he could reach them all the way over here if he wanted. Like they weren't safe anywhere from this thing. And so in the book it says that once it kills a creature and eats it, that it's been sated for the attack. And so I had it grab all the party members and pull it in because it can have up to 10 tentacles that it can grapple people with and reel them in. But it only managed to land one hit on one creature, and that was Artemis's weasel, giant weasel Bandito, and it did 30 damage in one attack. Bandito only has 9 health, and by the rules of D&D, that's an instant kill with no death saving throws, which means that Bandito got eat whole, and then the rest of them got let free. And they immediately scrambled to this upper room and found a key off of this body and scrambled back past it as it was now sated and headed back up the stairs. So let's jump back up. So rip Bandito. So the party was back up here on a level they had been on before. And they headed back into this room, and it quickly explored this direction and just tried this door. It was the first door they came across, and that was the door that the key is for, and headed up these stairs. I didn't spring this trap on them because I completely forgot about it, because we were a little far into it, but if they do come back through here, I intend to spring this trap on them. So they took these stairs up to another level, which is a foundry, which is where they currently are. So this is the foundry map. This is supposed to be where Durgeddon actually made all these blades. So they were first in this room, and they couldn't see the secret door. But in this room, it's a trap room. So in this room there are 3 statues, and each one has an axe, where the middle one actually has 2 axes. Let me find that. 35. So this is the statue that has the 2 axes. And there are 2 fake doors hidden in the wall, and what happens is when you pull one open, the axe on this side of this statue and this axe both swing down at you. And if you open that door, the same thing happens. So Darstrix just walked up and pulled this door open, and he got slammed by some axe attacks, which didn't feel very good, before they finally found this door. And when you pass through this hallway, there's actually a magic mouth alarm that shouts in a dwarvish warning for the Durger that are in this level. Now, Durger are magical Underdark dwarves. So not only do they have like the normal dwarf abilities, but they can also turn invisible. They have increased dark vision. They can enlarge themselves to make themselves bigger for a short time in combat. And they are actually headed by this Durger Spy, which is a named character that they haven't met yet. And initially was hostile, but Nath decided to use Disguise Self to disguise himself as this statue of this dwarf, but like in the flesh. And what happened is he started a dialogue with this invisible gray dwarf and managed to haggle it down to not hostile with his persuasion checks. and decided that he wanted to get like by them instead of attacking them. But they charged him a bribe of 100 gold. So they let him explore up here, but said that other places were off limits because these guys are kind of trying to run the stuff down here and do their own thing, which they didn't sit there and try to figure out yet. But they were led straight up to this room, which is a cursed area where there is a white of an orc and 2 ogre skeletons, and that is way too strong for them as well. They have a combined 130 health, which is way too much for them right now. They decided to just sit in here and fight for a little bit and barely chip any damage off of these monsters before running, as they got knocked down over and over and over again, barely surviving because 3 of the party members can cast healing spells, and they just kept getting each other up before they scrambled through here, and the monsters stopped pursuing them because they're bound to this room, and they can't leave this room and pursue. And so they just decided to stop in here for their long rest, and that's where we're going to be picking up next time. But I want to go back and do some prep and see how these monsters have prepared in the meantime. So let's do that. So that's our recap. So if you're just here for the recap, then that's all I got for you. But we're going to do some GM prep. So let's start on the first level, the mountain door. I need to move them because this is not going to be where they're coming back up. And also, I need to edit their sheets. So I'm running into a problem where every time I place Darstrix back on the map, it's not taking his current token. So I think what I need to do... I knew you weren't leaving. I was just saying, just in case. So what I need to do is remove his current token and re-add it as this one so that stops happening. And I think that's how I get through that problem. Artemis is now also holding a torch because her pet that had blind dark sight isn't around anymore. It got eaten. So he decided to pull out a torch. So I need to update that for his sheet as well. So let me add that. I love their cute little tokens. They're adorable. Those are the Thomas Time tokens in the assets of Roll20. So I think the most likely place that they're going to be even coming back here is going to be through the stairs in that area over there. So I'm going to go ahead and move their tokens there, just in case. I'll just have them on the stairs. Will they be ambushed by Sturges on sight? So that's cool. That's always cool stuff. I'm going to go ahead and delete these 2 orcs because they're dead. And let's start looking at what the orcs do in this area. Now I know that there are some packs of dwarves exploring outside. They return 2 days after the characters arrive, and a second group 3 days after that. So they're only 1 day in, so we don't have to worry about that. Don't have to worry about that. We just need to figure out. I need the mountain door defenses. Yeah. So there's actually a system for their defenses. Oh, thank you. What's up, my friend? Is it Ellie or Eli? Let me know. I'm doing some GM prep for the Forge of Fury, which is a adventure in Tales from the Yawning Portal for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. And I'm prepping for the next session after the party has decided to take a long rest, and I'm trying to figure out how these orcs are going to reinforce the first one. Ellie? Okay. I'm trying to figure out how the orcs are going to react to this attack and figure out what they're going to do. But I find it really cool that I have a defense like layout of what they do round by round if they're ever invaded. But what they did was bypass the first sentries, which made us jump to this one, and then the sentries acted. So I thought that was pretty cool. But let's see. I think we're still going to have sentries outside because they wouldn't abandon sentries. So I'm going to go ahead and move these guys out there. These guys are watching the entrance. You made a full dungeon on Roll20, you like it, but didn't know they had an extensive journal like that. Yeah, these are pre-made assets that you can use for Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. I don't know how many other games that are like this, because I know Roll20 has like a deal with they have a deal with Wizards of the Coast, which are the people who make Dungeons and Dragons. But the latest adventure that's just come out, they have put on here digitally. So this entire adventure has maps and stuff and tokens already statted out for you that you can just buy. I believe they are $8.99 per adventure, and there are 7 of them. So you can buy them one at a time, or you can buy the whole book at once, which is pretty cool to me. They also have the monster manual in here and Volo's Guide to Monsters, which also have pre-statted monster tokens for you, so you can just grab them and drop them in, and they'll have their attacks and stuff already made for you, which I think is really cool, and it helps prep time a lot, so that you don't have to sit here and type in like all the monster stacks. Like if I grabbed this random orc and plopped it here, he'd be ready to go. He has vision already statted. He has his health and his armor class right there that I can see. And if I open his stat page, it's already statted out. And I can go over here and just click his attack, and it rolls it in chat for me automatically. It's super sweet. Super awesome. Oh, they lost you at 3.5, so you play Pathfinder now. I see. I've never actually played Pathfinder. I never actually played Dungeons and Dragons until 4th edition. That was my introduction. The very end of 4th edition, and then I really got into it when 5th edition was just starting to be made in D&D Next. And so 5th edition is really all I know. So I got really excited when they announced Tales from the Yawning Portal, because Tales from the Yawning Portal is a compilation of like the 7 like classic dungeons that aren't even from this they're not from this edition, but they've been updated for 5th edition, so people like me can play them. So that made me really excited. So like the Sunless Citadel is in here, the Forge of Fury is in here, which are both from 3rd edition. The Hidden Shrine of Tamachan is in here, which is I think is from 2nd edition. White Plume Mountain's in here. Tomb of Horrors is in here. Against the Giants is in here, which is actually 3 adventures from 1st edition, I believe. And there's even a mega dungeon from 5th edition called Dead and Thay that's in here. And they've all been updated for 5th edition so that people like me can play them, which is really cool. And they're all on Roll20 as well. And you can buy them and have the maps just plopped in there, which is excellent to me. Anyways, let's read about this rope bridge and see what they do. The orcs destroy the bridge but repel the invaders. In doing so, they rebuild it within 3 days. Any orcs killed here are replaced by orcs from Area 11. Okay, cool. Yeah, exactly. So I mean that's really cool. I thought, at least. It sounds exciting to me to get to play the stuff that I missed in the like original adventure stuff, because I didn't get all that. I missed it. Why is this dude here? I have no idea why this dude is here. So I'm gonna move these guys back to where they were in their beds. Does this dude have any damage? He does. So what happened was they snuck by the sentries, got in here, and started fighting these guys, but they cut the rope. And some of them fell off the bridge. The rest of them ran across. Some of them stayed on this side, and what ended up happening is they got swarmed. And the bridge got cut in half. One of them got knocked unconscious and fell off, and the rest of them jumped and used Featherfall and fell to a level below. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to reinforce their efforts down here. So I'm gonna get rid of this guy and make him an orc with a longbow. and have him down here on this side. I'm gonna have this dude be an orc with the longbow as well. But yeah, I never got to play any of that stuff because I didn't even know like this stuff existed back then. Okay, so we got that ready. It's gonna be kind of similar stuff, except there's 2 less orcs to reinforce them, basically. If they spend another day in here, then another 4 orcs are gonna rejoin this group because they're back from their adventuring hunting party. So I think that's gonna be good for now. But I do wanna. Well, do I want to do that? I know they've cordoned off this area because the sturges are like infested in this room, and so they didn't want it open, so they've locked off this room. So maybe we should have 2 orcs over there. 2 orcs in this room, just in case they hear a commotion over there. I think that's what I'm gonna do. So I think that's good for the mountain door. So we're gonna jump down a level. Let's see. I don't even think they didn't even fight anything here, so we don't have to do anything here. As far as prep goes, if they come back, they're most likely going to be coming down the stairs here. So we don't even have to worry about that either. Just plop them here as our party. So let's jump to the sinkhole. They fought a roper here and lost horribly, but they managed to kill this gray ooze. So I don't really think there's a reason to reinforce down here, because the only reason they'd come, they already explored everything down here. So if they come back down here, they're going to be coming back down here to fight the roper, which I don't see them doing until they're higher level. So I'm just going to leave. I'm going to get rid of the ooze and leave this as is. What we really need to figure out is what's going to happen on the foundry level, because it's not looking good for these guys. So we have a bunch of Durger down here that are trying to reforge blades for like as if they were Durgeddon themselves, I guess. And we also have undead up here. So these ogre skeletons are going to be full health again. I'm not going to leave the chip damage that they did off of them. Did this dude take any damage? I don't know how much health a white generally has total. It did take damage, so he's 45. So they're just going to be in this room again. I think I'm going to drop them back to the GM info layer, because they've kind of deactivated, turned back into skeletons and bones all over the ground. These guys are in here stealthed up. I'm not going to have them stealthed up, actually. If they decide to sneak back into this room, they'll see them unstealthed. But if not, I'll just throw them back on the other layer, so it's fine. Now what we really need to figure out is what we're doing with this ghost. So let's open that section. In the foundry, area 43. Let's read about this ghost. So, it's a dwarven ghost of an armored dwarf. The dwarf mage Arundil. He's an insane ghost. Can't pursue anyone. Tormented by grief and shame over abandoning his kin to die. See area 47. So let's go to 47. Mr. Geddon's trusted advisor. During the final assault of the orcs, he used his magic to escape the slaughter. He returned to find all his kinfolk dead. Driven insane with grief, he tried to repair some of the complex defenses, animating dead warriors, and various objects to kill any intruders that returned. In his madness, he even summoned a fiend, and he perished at its hands not long after. He has a lot of money saved away. Okay. So we need to figure out if they have avoided this ghost. Let's see what kind of... They have a passive perception of 11. They can move through walls, but they don't have like blind sight. So if they don't see them, then I don't think we have anything to worry about. So we need to see if any of them get a stealth roll lower than 11 during their watches to see if this ghost comes at them. And I think that's how we'll handle that. But once they step back into the hallway, it's definitely going to attack. But I want to give them a chance to heal because they kind of got dropped down to a level where they don't really have a chance right now. They're still level 3, and this dungeon is for level 3 of 5. But they bypassed the first few levels just by jumping off of a bridge and landing in a pool of water. So I have to improvise a little here. They either need to go back up, or they need to think extremely tactfully on how they're going to get through the rest of this dungeon. So let us do some dynamic lighting stuff. Let's draw some lines because they shut this door, which is cool. Fine with me. I think this door is going to be shut back as well. What tool am I using? This tool is the dynamic lighting tool. It's a special API that is only available to pro accounts, I believe, or whatever the higher like subscription-based account is for Roll20. Basically what it does is it blocks vision sight of characters, because you can enable vision for the characters to limit what they can see at once. Like normally, if you are playing on this map, a character could see the whole map. But what this does is it lets you make walls and objects that they can't see through. So none of these green lines can they see through. So if they're in this room, they can't see through the walls because these green lines are blocking their vision. I generally use the red lines for doors and stuff like that, just to differentiate them, and they're easy to delete. You can just highlight it and delete it to say that the door's open. They can see through it. These are just room lights and fire lights generally, and I think these X's are for the vision around pillars and stuff like that. But I am going to make sure that I move these secret door tokens up because they've already opened these and they are aware that they exist. But I'm going to shut them back again. Yeah, it's super cool. I can show you what. So this is my vision as a DM. This is what I can see. But I can join the game as a player and show you how that affects their vision. So as I could see the entire map, this is the limit. This is the limit of my player character's vision because they're in this room. They can't see through the walls. They can't see through this door because it's closed. But if I, say, had them walk through it, they could see into this hallway. And this character has a light cast on his shield. So he has an area of bright light around him, but also dim light, like shining out further than that. And so this kind of like simulates what they'd see as they were exploring a dungeon, and how their vision like goes around corners and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. And then I can go down here to this big hall that I was showing you earlier, and you can see the light that is obstructed through the pillars and what they can see and how that moves as they move across the map. Pretty cool stuff. And that is enabled through one person's account. So because I'm a subscriber on Roll20, all the players in my games, they have this enabled for them, which I think is cool. So only one person has to be a subscriber to be able to use this, as long as they're the GM. Let's see. I think that's good on this level. They really haven't explored much, so let's go back and make sure that we close doors and reveal secret doors that they've opened if we need to. Man, some of these maps are really big and they take a little bit to load, as you can see. I don't recommend GMing big maps like this with tons of dynamic lighting if you don't have a computer to run it. Because all these lines have to load in, the map has to load in. I mean, I guess it didn't take that long, but it can be annoying. Especially if you're an impatient person like me. So let's reveal these secret doors because they are aware they're here. But we're going to close off these doors with red lines. So that they know that the doors are closed. Wrong thing. If you don't switch to another tool before you switch layers, then it just moves that line you just drew to a different layer, which I keep forgetting to do. Alright. I think that's it. I think that we're good. I think we've done prep. We've restocked the dungeon. We've got a plan for when they first get back, and I did a recap earlier of the last session. So I think that's gonna be it for now, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me while I did some prep, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit that follow button. That'd be really cool. And you can also follow us on Twitch. I mean, you can follow us on Twitter. I confuse that so much. Twitch and Twitter, they're just too close. You can follow us on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find those links on the channel. And we're streaming this adventure on Mondays at 7 p.m. Central Time. So if you're interested in that, come by and check it out. You can also watch it as a VOD for the next 2 weeks after it's uploaded. And we're also going to be trying to put them on our YouTube channel. So that's going to be, I think that's going to be it for me. I'm going to try to work on some videos for the YouTube channel now. So I might have one uploaded later tonight. But this should be going up on YouTube as well, if you missed the beginning and want to watch the rest of it. So thanks for hanging out. I'll catch you guys later. This is Chase with the Double Experience, and I'll see you guys Monday if you come back and check us out. So see you later.